We're going to talk about how to marinate chicken today. Make sure you have a nice wet cloth underneath your chopping board to prevent it slipping. Let's grab some chicken breast. Fresh chicken breast from Woolies. Don't need to be too fussed about the size of how you chop it. Small slivers like this. It's about this size. Just trim it down the middle. That's pretty much about it. Just go through 2 kilos of chicken breast. So there you have it, about 2 kilos of chicken breast. Get rid of the blade, chopping board, leave the cloth there. You'll need it just to keep the bowl tidy. Now here's the trick, baking soda. So roughly about 2 kilos of chicken. This is about half a teaspoon. So you need about 4 or 5 of these. I'll just go 4 and a bit, which is roughly just over 2 teaspoons worth of baking soda. So what you do now, just fill it with water, just to cover the chicken. Give it a good massage. Probably just need a little tad more water. And what this does, baking soda has some special property which tenderizes the meat, and it also allows the moisture to remain absorbed within the fibers itself. Just give it a good massage until the baking soda is completely dissolved in the water itself, and you want a good saturation there, just to make sure that the moisture has the chicken completely covered. Okay, we're ready for part 2. So the chicken's been in this baking soda and water mixture for a good 1.5 hours, 2 hours. Just means that the moisture would have soaked into the chicken and it's just become more tender. Now you can see there's still a fair bit of moisture there. Let's just get rid of the water for now. And you'll probably have to do a few passes of this just to make sure that all of the water's gone. Well, most of the water anyway. So you'll probably see that the majority of the water's gone. There's still a little bit of moisture there, and that's okay. perfectly fine. So here's the fun part. Had the chicken, baking soda and water mix, good hour and a half, 2 hours. We've poured out excess water, and now it's just a matter of putting some flavor into the chicken. So what do we do for that? So it's very easy. So you are probably looking at Chinese wine, some chicken powder, white pepper, a bit of oil, and your usual salt and sugar. So how much do we put in? We've got about 2 kilos of chicken here, so let's go for roughly about this much pepper. And don't forget, this is just adding a bit of base flavor to the chicken. We're not necessarily giving the chicken a full flavor as such, because we are still going to cook it. So it's just a restaurant style, giving a bit of base flavor. Probably about one and a bit chicken powder. Give it a bit of mix first. Plenty of moisture in the chicken there, so it will infuse fairly easily. Bit of sugar, roughly about 1 teaspoon of sugar. And roughly about the same for salt. You probably want to, rule of thumb for me is you do want to roughly add about half the amount of salt that we do sugar. Just balances out the flavors a little bit more. Seasoning would emulsify within the chicken quite well. Do want a nice quality Chinese wine as well. So new one, just watch out for the sharp edges there. And for about 2 kilos of chicken, roughly about a capful of Chinese wine. Make sure you get the quality ones. When I say quality, it's probably about $5 a bottle, $10 a bottle. Don't get the cheap and nasty stuff that you can get at Woolies for about $2. That stuff is definitely not good for you. Okay, so you'll see that there's probably no more water that you can see in the chicken there, because it's all emulsified into the chicken itself. And now's the time to add a bit of corn flour. What the corn flour does, it creates a bit of a protective surface or a coating around the chicken. 2, 3, so about 2 heaped teaspoons worth, give or take. My measure is half a teaspoon, so that's roughly about 2 heaped teaspoons there. The corn flour acts as a bit of a protective barrier. Fuses the flavour, seals in the moisture within the chicken itself. Once we've given that a bit of a good mix, until that it's emulsified. No need to overwork it. A little bit will do. And from here onwards, just add a splash of oil. And what that does here is works in conjunction with the corn flour to make that protective barrier. So when it does come time to poaching, the flavour doesn't leave the chicken. It is all sealed in with the corn flour with the oil. Okay, marinating time. How long? You can leave it overnight if you want, but for me, usually in this cold weather, I can just leave it out until about, I don't know, 3-4 hours later. And you'll find that 4 hours later, the flavour would have infused quite well within the chicken and you're ready to go. And what I like to do now usually is get a bit of Glad wrap. Rather than just putting it over the top like this, I actually like to press it into the chicken. Completely removing the air out of it, giving it a nice seal around the edges. There you have it. So you can just leave that for a good 4 hours.